Greetings, my dear friends, and welcome to the full moon episode of Collective Awakening Weekly. My name is Carrie Konyha. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this is a weekly energy update and activation to support your journey in spiritual awakening, healing, and empowerment. Each week, we take a look at what's going on astrologically, in addition to me sharing channeled insights and sacred wisdom teachings through the tarot. Let's go ahead and dive in. Welcome back, guys. This week is the week of the full moon, which is happening on March 18th at about 12:17 a.m. Pacific time. So you can adjust the timing for that based on your location in the world. This full moon is in the sign of Virgo, which is an earth sign. And it is in opposition to the sun in Pisces, which is also joining Mercury, Neptune, and Jupiter, all in the sign of Pisces as well. The water element, with all of the Pisces energy that we have going on, is the dominant factor. This week, both earth and water elements are considered feminine energies. So this is a week of really embracing your own inner sacred feminine, which is all about sensing, feeling, being, allowing, holding space, dreaming, imagining, intuiting. These are all things that are connected to the energy of Pisces, which is dominant this week. But with that Virgo earth energy coming in and shining in through the full moon, that energy is actually supporting us in making grounded progress in alignment with all of these Pisces themes that are coming up. So one thing that we can all do in the realm of like an empowerment practice is to be aware of what's been sort of brewing within you behind the scenes, energetically, intuitively. What's your silent knowing been compelling you towards? What have you been intending on dreaming into being? What have you been imagining in regard to utilizing your creative talent, skills, and abilities? The Virgo energy shining in again through this full moon is supporting us all in making grounded, clear, actual progress, manifested progress in the physical earthly plane in regard to those things right now. And I would say that that really is the dominant energy that's happening this week. But there's some other things that I'm going to share with you that are equally significant. For one, we still have Mars, Venus, and Saturn in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is all about leading edge, outside of the box thinking. It's oriented towards the collective, like we're thinking in alignment with the benefit of all. We're conscientious around our future well-being and things like that. So I've already been talking about this energy for several weeks now because we've had this conjunction with Mars and Venus going on for many weeks now. However, the sign has shifted from Capricorn into Aquarius, which brings us a new energy. We also have Saturn in Aquarius. So all the way around, this energy is sort of revolutionizing what our ideas have been regarding our approach to implementing structures in our life connected to our values, which is Venus, and the way we want to take action, which is Mars. So with Mars being in Aquarius now, a lot of the action is on more of a mental strategy level, forward thinking, again, outside of the box thinking before we act, and thinking in alignment with what is going to result in favorable outcomes aligned with our values. This is on personal levels and collective levels. Now, addressing all that's been going on in the world with the difficulties with warring and things like that, it's devastating what's going on. It's heartbreaking. You know, I'm in it with all of you guys as well, as far as feeling the heaviness of that. And I know I've talked about it over the past several weeks, and I really want to emphasize that the best thing that we can all do right now is hold space for light, rather than allowing the energy of the devastation to zap your energy and bring you into despair and depression. If we do that, we're only giving the dark forces at play what it wants. So the best thing that we can do as light workers is hold the vision of the light, constantly attuning to the light within you and radiating light out into the world, being advocates for peace. Remember, and I've said this before also, it's more empowering to attune to and be an advocate for what you stand by, what you believe in, rather than putting your energy towards being against something. So applying your energy in the direction of what you are for, what you stand by, rather than what you're against, is definitely going to produce a higher vibration, a higher frequency on that collective level. And this is the best thing that we can do to support world events. Now, I am actually, as a side note, before we continue into the energies of this week, I am intending over the course of the next few days to upload a global meditation for world peace guided meditation as soon as I have time. Some of you may have noticed that I've gone down to only uploading one video a week over the past few weeks, and that's because I'm also in the process of moving. And I'm still staying in Sedona, but have found a new place to move into. I'm going to be moving over the course of the next several weeks. And as soon as I get settled into my new place, which should be mid-April, I am going to be resuming 2 videos weekly. So we all have that to look forward to. In the meantime, I will be uploading that guided meditation as soon as possible. Okay, let's get back to what's going on this week. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about with the Mars-Venus conjunction is that conjunction around the time of this full moon is opposing Uranus. Uranus is a planet that is connected to unexpected energies. So we can expect the unexpected this week. Unexpected energies, unexpected experiences, unexpected opportunities. And this can be of beneficial influence to what's going on globally with all of the conflicting violent war energies happening in the world right now. My sense psychically is that all of the work that we've all already been doing in holding the light, I feel, is sort of thwarting the efforts of the dark forces. It's like, try as they might, I feel like the darker forces at play that are pushing for that conflict, violent war energy are sort of butting up against obstacles left and right. And that's because of holding that energy of light that the light workers in the world are doing. And so I feel that this unexpected energy, unexpected opportunity, unexpected experiences that are connected with this square that Uranus is making to Mars and Venus could actually mean that there's a turn for the better with all of that. And let's all hold space for that. On personal levels, this Uranus square is more than likely bringing unexpected positive opportunities, things clicking into place where we've been concerned about lack or challenges or difficulties in achieving what we're intending. Suddenly things can be opening up for us now. So that's a little bit of a blessing that we've got going on global levels, collective levels, and on individual levels right now. The other thing that I want to mention before we get into the cards here is that just a few days after this full moon, we have the Spring Equinox on March 20th, which is coinciding with the sun moving into the sign of Aries, which is beginning an entire new cycle. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. March is we're coming into springtime, which is sort of like the astrological new year. For sure, we're all coming out of that winter hibernation now. We're ready to burst forth in our blossoming. There's no better time than the present to really review and get clear on what have you been dreaming into being all winter long. And that energy is ripe for manifesting right now. This is a time where we're all being guided to leap into action in alignment with what our biggest enthusiasms are, the things that we're most excited about. And that's the energy of Aries as well. The exuberance of Aries, the fire energy, brings expansion, and we all have access to that energy this week and for the next few months as we're unfolding into the season of spring. For those of you who work with prosperity altars, this is a really good time to refresh the energy of your prosperity altar, perhaps putting things on it that represent the birth of new energy in your life that's connected to those springtime energies and themes, new beginnings, new growth, rebirth, renewal, and of course, whatever spiritual practices that you do that help you to be really clear and attuned to how you personally are intending to grow and expand this year. On or around the spring equinox is a really empowering time to do that. In fact, with this full moon energy happening just a few days before the spring equinox, full moon always illuminates our awareness. So we've got that energy available to us to get really clear. And as the moon is waning over the next few days, it's a really good time to let go whatever's not aligned with what you're intending for yourself in moving forward, and to really harness the power of creative expression. So that is connected to Mercury being in Aquarius. I feel that with Mercury in Aquarius, we all have access to sort of channeling our own higher guidance through God, spirit, universe, cosmic consciousness, spirit guides, things of that nature. So this week is a really empowering week to do that type of work for yourself. The way that I like to work with channeled information that I get for myself is through journaling, where I'll set my intention to connect with, access higher guidance. I'll write down whatever my inquiries are, and then I just write down as a fluid stream of consciousness whatever insights come to me while I'm in that meditative space without analyzing it in the moment. I just let it be a stream of consciousness, and then when I feel complete, I'll read what comes up. So that would be a really good thing for you all to practice this week. For those of you that do practice that, let me know in the comments how it went for you, as well as any questions that you might have about that process. With that, let's go ahead and get into the cards and see what additional sacred wisdom teachings want to come through. Setting the intention that everything that comes through today is coming from only the highest sources of guidance possible, and that everything is truthful and in alignment with the highest and best of everyone who's tuning into this, no matter when you're tuning in. I'm going to start by pulling 3 cards in the same way that we did last week, where we're taking a look at what's the energy, what's the best action we can take, and what is the outcome or result of that energy. Let's start with that. And I'm working with my Universal Rider-Waite deck today. And let me just see what wants to come up here. Here's 1. Here's 2, and here's 3. Okay, so we've got the King of Swords coming up. I'll give you a deeper look at these in a little bit. We have the 6 of Wands coming up. I think this card came up last week. And we have the 5 of Wands showing up reversed. So let's take a look here. What's the energy? What's the action? And what's the outcome or the result? I feel like the energy that's happening right now is this Five of Wands reversed when we consider the conflict that's happening in the world right now. I feel that the energy to harness or the action to take is the King of Swords. And then the outcome or the result of that energy is the Six of Wands. I know for sure this card came up last week, so it's really sort of uncanny that it came up again this week. It feels like obviously this is a strong message that wants to come through from spirit to the collective. So we're going to delve a little bit more deeply into this energy today. But first, let's start with, okay, present energy. The Five of Wands showing up reversed, which I'll talk about what that means. But let me show you what the card looks like right side up. And so when the Five of Wands comes up, it can indicate an energy of competition. So there's times in life where healthy competitiveness enables us to hone, sharpen, and develop qualities of ourselves. And then there's immature expressions of this energy, which are connected to comparison, which can lead to disempowerment, self-doubt, and things of that nature. When this card shows up reversed, I feel like for all of us collectively right now, it's a really strong message to not engage in lower vibrational conflict and drama. Simply removing ourselves from the equation of that and holding our own space, tending to our own vibration and being very dedicated to not allowing power struggles happening around us globally, collectively, or maybe individually in your life, not allowing anything that feels like that type of energy around you to hook you in ways that are draining you. The world needs as many people on board with holding light as possible right now. And this also is beneficial for you within your own personal life. If you are a person who's experiencing conflict around you in the personal sphere of your life right now, not engaging or getting hooked into lower vibrational conflict that again is exhausting and draining is a tremendous act of self-love that you can do right now. Just withdrawing yourself from the equation, not taking the bait, not getting hooked in is what the message is. Now, of course, on global levels, we definitely have conflict, aggression, violence going on. And as I spoke of earlier, we can't let that energy hook us into depression, despair, exhaustion, and debilitation. We have to override our personal despair that comes with witnessing all of that and choose to advocate for peace and light. How do we do that? We tap into our higher intelligence. The King of Swords is the master of intelligence. My awareness is going back to that Aquarian energy that we have right now. So this is higher intelligence. This is outside of the box thinking. This is innovative strategizing. So that is the message. Shift into owning our ability to masterfully lead ourselves forward through tapping into our higher mind, higher intelligence. Look closely at the card and see what aspect of it jumps out as a special message for you. Maybe it's a color, maybe it's one of the components of nature that's showing up, maybe it's something on the throne he's sitting on, his crown, the sword he's holding. Take a moment to really tune into what aspect of this card is jumping out at me the most, and how is that a particular message for me? When I'm looking at the card here, I'm seeing the light blue of his robe is jumping out at me, which is, of course, throat chakra. So clear communication is a key here. Speaking concisely and clearly from the perspective of clear point of view. So you're objectively observing and communicating clearly based on that observation rather than projecting how you feel about things onto a situation. That seems to be a theme that's coming up this week. And then the Six of Wands, which came up last week also as an outcome. I feel like this is assuring us that as long as we can all remain in our higher octave, in our higher consciousness, in our higher vibration, that energy is naturally leading us to experiences that are connected to our highest timeline, our highest and best version of reality. This is the energy of excellence. It's celebrating job well done. It's the energy of victory on one level, which is indicated by the wreath that's hanging off of the staff that he is holding in his hand. So I'll let you take a closer look at this and give yourself a moment to look to see what aspect of this card is jumping out at me. Is it a number? Is it a color? Is it one of the elements of nature that's appearing in the card? What about this card is jumping out at me? When I'm looking at this in regard to a message for the collective, it's the green in the card. The green that the horse is wearing, and then he's got a green wreath around his head, and then another one here. Green is growth. It's healthy energy. It's prosperous energy. It's abundant energy. And I don't mean just prosperity and abundance in the form of financial or money. We can have prosperity and abundance of health, well-being, joy, fulfillment that comes through a personal sense of reward, accomplishment, and achievement that we can experience through being very committed to what our highest ideals, goals, and dreams are. Just like the astrology says, we can all make progress now in our life based on tapping into our self-mastery with our intelligence field, our higher mind, our higher intelligence, not engaging in lower vibrational drama, guys. So let me just pick one more card for like an overall message from Spirit. Here we go. Let me see what wants to come in here. The Emperor can be likened to the sacred masculine energies, which is also connected to that Mars energy that's happening right now. And this is the energy of establishing solid foundations for growth. The Emperor is empowered in overseeing, implementing, delegating whatever changes are necessary in order to bring yourself into an optimized version of your reality. So there's definitely a theme around stepping into your leadership. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Please share in the comments whatever you would love to share. My love to you guys. Blessings and namaste.